Hello, Philip. Could you please give an introduction about yourself?
Hi, so my name's Philip Miller. I'm from the United States, Louisiana to be more specific, and I'm in the CC plus AI campus inside the real world. I've been in there for about 2 years now, and about 5 months ago, I just started making some real money.
Okay, solid. You said you've been inside for 2 years. If you don't mind, you look quite young. So, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 20 years old right now. I'll be 21 in August.
So you joined around age 18,
Yes, right after I turned 18.
and what led to you joining? What was the backstory there?
I saw a Tate ad on Instagram, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I Googled it, and then from there I joined the copywriting campus, and then didn't really do too much there, and then I actually missed a payment, and then I ended up making some commission from the job I was working, and came back that same month in about like 4 days or something after I missed the payment, and then I joined the AFM, and then hung around in that, and didn't do too much in the affiliate marketing campus. I made two sales, and one was my buddy, so I really only made one sale. And so then I finally joined the CC plus AI campus at the end of 2022 or 2023, end of 2023.
Okay. What were you doing before joining the real world? Let's get some backstory there.
So I'm still in college. I'm in Louisiana, so I'm in college for accounting right now. I got one more year, and so when I joined, it was my first semester of college, and I was going crazy, drinking, partying, and you could definitely see the difference from that first semester I was there to starting after that first semester when I joined to now, how much different it is. So it's been about 3 years since my first semester, and I mean, crazy difference. I've started boxing. I have a few amateur fights coming up. I mean, school's going straight through the. I mean, my grades used to be minimal. C's get degrees, and that's what I was going for. But now it's a lot better. I actually study a lot more. I mean, obviously, I'm making money, so that's awesome as well. Just to not be able to say a lot of people here they have their parents pay for school, or I go off of scholarships. I didn't get scholarships because my ACT, which is a standardized testing thing here, wasn't super high, so I didn't get any scholarships. So my parents were paying for it initially, and then I told them, look, I'll pay for half. So I'm working part-time job, trying to pay for school, trying to pay for rent, trying to pay for over here rent's actually included in tuition, so it's all the same thing. So school and rent is one thing. There's pay for food and all that, and it's getting a little rough. I'm working for $8 an hour, working 40-hour weeks on top of school, which turns out to be nothing, but that's just part of it. So that's where I kind of am coming from. So me being able to sell stuff for my parents' company and make their company more money so that it evens out what they've already paid for my school makes me feel really good that they're not having to do anything for me on that end, especially back pays to all the times that they paid for me, right? So that's why I like that, as well as I can pretty much buy whatever I want on a go to the grocery store. You don't have to look at the prices. It's nice. It really is nice, as well as you
Let's
can
get
go out to eat.
to how you got here. So you said CC plus AI. Let's fill in that gap then. So what part of CCAI? Because it has video editing, it has UGC. So which one do you actually end up going into? And how long after getting into it did you land your first client?
Right. So for me, it's kind of weird. I joined CC plus AI because I saw one of the courses in video editing. They had it
Mhm.
called PCB Performance Creator Bootcamp back then. I don't think they have it anymore, but it was basically where you generate leads from sending out videos. And my parents' company, they do IT and cybersecurity. And up to that point, I was doing cold calls for them. And that's how I was getting some commission as well as working a part time job at a fast food restaurant. So I saw that and I told my parents, look, y'all aren't getting too many sales from me doing cold calls. Why don't you let me do this that I just figured out how to do? And then they started paying me to do that. And that's how I started getting my first client. So I really started out with a client already because I was working for him doing the cold calls. But it took me about 8 months so this past August, to actually land my first client that wasn't my parents. So I went straight into video marketing, VSLs, lead generation with CC plus AI. There wasn't too much UGC. In the videos that I was sending out, it's faceless, it's all AI generated. I'm actually pivoting to start doing the UGC more, start talking to the camera more, because it's a nicer human element as opposed to the AI.
Okay. How did you land that client in August?
So I was just hammering the emails. I started out doing 10 a day, and then I realized to get more testing in, you got to send more out. So I started sending 30, 40 a day. And about a month after I pivoted from doing 10 to 40, I got a reply. A guy actually called me. I have my phone number in there, and he called me. I didn't know who it was. And then he says, "Hey, look, let's get on a call." And he said, "Look, I don't really want to do your service that you're selling, but I'd still like to use your editing skills to make me a landing page video." And so he paid me $200 for that landing page video, and that was really the first money I made online.
Mhm.
And then, go ahead.
How did it scale since then? I think that's what you're
That
getting into. Yeah.
right. So the rest of August, I didn't make any money. I was still outreaching, doing the same thing because I thought it worked. And then obviously I had to pivot and test different things. And so in September, I started getting more sales calls. More people started signing on. I didn't get paid yet. They were just talking to me, going back and forth. And then actually in November is when I signed on two people in the same day. And then those were both $500 clients. It was really low. And then the next month, a few more $500 clients. And then the month after that, I started doing $2,000 clients and a $3,000 client. So I was up at 5,000, 7,000, almost $10,000 a month by December. But some of them haven't paid me or hadn't paid me yet. So I was sitting there going, well, it's not real until the money's in the bank. But they were
Mhm.
saying they were going to pay me. And then finally in January is when a lot of them started to pay me and I started the service for them. So that's
Mhm.
why January was the biggest month for me.
Okay. In total, how much did you earn in January?
$6,630, I think was the number.
So very solid. And you said you were charging 2,000 to 3,000. What services was that for? What were you actually like as a package, or what were you fully offering? Is what I'm trying to say.
So I was doing lead generation for IT and cybersecurity companies. So over here, we call the particular people that I'm reaching out to are called MSPs, and they really suck at getting sales. Just they're super technical. They talk about all the features, and they need somebody that sells the outcome. So that's what I come in and do. I get them leads, and essentially all they have to do is tell them the price, and then they're done. That's how much I warm up the lead for them, so that they only have to say, "Hey, look, I'm the guy you're going to be working with. Sign here on the dotted line." And that's what I do for my guys. And they
Mhm.
pay me based on how many leads they get or want.
So very solid. And that's something that the work you done for your parents came, the experience from there came in, ended up being useful for what you're doing now, from what I understood, correct?
Exactly. Yep.
Cool, cool. Uh, how do you reach out to new clients you're trying to find? Is it LinkedIn or do you find somewhere else? Like, what's the process there?
I do LinkedIn. I do Google, to just go down Google Maps in
Mhm.
whatever area I'm trying to reach out to. And then from that, I'll call them if I can't find their email. I'll email them. I'll even send direct mail. I do that a lot for my parents' company, but for me myself, I haven't done it. So those are the three big ways to get people on calls like this with conversations. And really, that's where the magic happens.
Mhm. And how do you plan on scaling that even further then? Is it something you can outsource to other people in future, or are you limited to, is it knowledge specific, so only you'd be able to do it? Any insights there?
So I was talking to the professor in the CC plus AI campus the other day, and he told me, look, you got a pretty special thing going on with your family's business. What I would tell you is go find somebody that'll work for you and really try. And if they do really well for a month, then you give them half. And if they don't work out, then you just say, look, it's not going to work. And so I thought that was a really good idea. He actually gave me a huge shout out. So I got a lot of people from the real world reaching out to me. And I said, okay, cool. So I've been talking to a few of those guys. and I'm gonna see if I can. Really, all it is showing up. It's nothing special that I do. It's more of just consistency and testing. Those are the only two things that you really need to get leads and get more clients and talk to more people. So if as long as somebody's willing to show up, it's very scalable. But that's the hardest part is finding somebody that's willing to show up.
Mhm. So, and just to clarify, you're still in college then while doing all this?
Correct. I'm in college right now. It's my junior year. It's my sixth semester out of eight. So I have two more semesters after this, and then I'll be done. And I have to take the CPA exam. It's a big exam for accountants to get certified. The only reason I'm still in school is because my dad basically said, "Are we allowed to curse on here or no?"
Do whatever you want. Yeah, it should be
Okay.
fine.
So my dad said, "You're a bitch if you drop out," and I said, "I'm not a bitch," so I stayed in. But
Cool. So your dad knows how to persuade you.
yeah, pretty much, he knew exactly what would have gotten me, and so
Right.
he knew
Cool.
exactly that I wasn't going to just drop out, especially if he put it in that perspective.
Mhm.
So,
All right. What's the balancing like of college and what you're doing with the new work?
so the balancing is I have a checklist in the real world, and I mean that without that I probably would forget everything because everything's shooting at once, everything's going. I got exams coming up, I got schoolwork due, I got clients I need to talk to, I got a video I need to make, I have this person that needs to get this video done, I have all these different things that are shooting at once. If the night before I just type out everything I remember that needs to get done tomorrow, it all gets done. And that's been the best balancing thing in the world. And I mean, I can't say it's the best thing in the world. Because even
Mhm.
if you write it down on a piece of paper, it doesn't work as well because you don't have that piece of paper on your phone unless you take a picture. It's just super convenient to
Mhm.
be able to use it to balance it. So the
Yeah.
balancing probably comes out to about 4 hours a day on school, another hour and a half to 2 hours on boxing, and then the rest just shoveled towards work, talking to
Mhm.
people, emails, scheduling, and all that.
And what do you say to people who would say you need to have a balance, like more of a balance in life? What if you're working too much? What's your perspective on that?
Well, I'll work when I'm got $10 million in the bank, and if I'm not happy, then I'll stop working.
Fair enough.
That's been my output on that, or my input on that
Yeah.
perspective.
Cool. And I heard from Eli, one of the captains, that some stuff happened in your past. I don't know how much you want to reveal. So if I just bring it up like that, what can you say? From past
Right.
that was a fairly life changing experience, let's say.
Oh yeah, definitely. So senior year of high school, I was messing around with my buddies, and one of the people I was in a group chat essentially. I was sending memes and just stupid crap to a group chat, being immature. And one of the people sent the group chat to the school principal. School principal goes back and looks at it. He didn't even call me in, to be honest. He kind of just called my parents and said, "Hey, look, we've been talking about this for 3 days. Philip can't come back." And it was 2 months before we were graduating. And so it's like, okay, damn. But the best part about it was technically I'm not supposed to tell anybody of this, but it's already over with. They said, look, you're still going to graduate and get a diploma. You just don't have to come back for 2 months. So I was like, that's a really good deal for me. My parents weren't too happy about it. So I started working the next day after I got kicked out. My parents got the phone call. I went to an interview that same day, and the next day I started a part-time job working. So I got a super head start on everybody else. So I think it was the best thing that happened to me because if it didn't happen, I'd still be a shithead. I'd still be running around. I still wouldn't be doing anything. I'd still be sitting around playing video games. I mean, huge difference. You can definitely see that it tipped the scales right there, that everything shifted towards work, making money. I mean, even back then, I was trying to work as many hours as I could because that's how I got paid. I really didn't care about work life balance. I just wanted to get money. And I thought the best way to get money was work as many hours as you can, ask for more hours, because that's the only way I was getting paid. And so I think it was that summer after is when Tate started to really blow up on the internet. And then I saw him. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And I get to college, and my roommate's like, "I don't know how to make money. I mean, we want to make money, but we really don't know how to." And then towards the end of that year, I told him, "Hey, look, I'm doing this program. Do you think you would want to join with me? I think it's the best way because this is what we've been talking about. This is the problem solver, right?" He joined for a few months and then he left, but that's okay. So, but I'm still here. So, and that was the pain point that it solved for me was I want to make money, but I don't know how. And he sold it perfectly.
Mhm. Interesting. Yeah, the thing with the group chat, that's insane. Like getting kicked off of that. I'm sure if my group chat's called leaked, I'd probably get arrested. Probably some other people as well. But
Yeah.
again, it's all just jokes. Like you're joking around. So it's crazy that jokes getting shown to your principal lead to you getting kicked out. But
And it wasn't just me. I mean, there was like 4 or 5 other people sending the same kind of stuff, and then I was the only one that got in trouble. It was a
mm,
group chat of like 20 people. I was the only one that got in trouble. And I mean, when he asked me, the principal was like, "Is there anybody else in the group chat?" He barely even spoke to me. I had to go back after and say, "Hey, y'all didn't talk to me. I mean, my parents are, they're upset that I got kicked out. Could y'all at least tell me what happened so that I can go back and talk to him, right?" And he goes, "Well, you did this, this, and this, and it's just not good for our image." And I said, "Well, there were about 20 other people in the group chat." And he goes, "Oh, we didn't see anything from them." And I was like, "Well, I have the group chat right here." In my head, I'm thinking, I have the group chat right here. What did y'all see? Like, is it only the snipped out messages of me saying it? That's what I was confused about. But I didn't say anything about the other people. To this day, they still, they graduated. They're all buddies. So I got out of that friend group and I was kind of by myself. And it's been great since. Like I'm telling you, that's the best thing that ever happened to me.
okay. Uh, and then let's move on to future plans. So for everything, for business, for personal life, where do you see your life heading? What plans do you have for short term, medium term, and long term?
So short term, I definitely want to hire somebody that can handle all the client work, handle all of that work, so I can go back and focus on my parents' business. Because Professor Pope, told me, look, the natural progression is you're going to get that business when you're old enough and they're ready to retire. So I said that's a good point. So why would I focus on building my own thing when I can already just build up what they've built up? So short term, that's what I want to do is get my current clients to be happy and still keep getting money from them while I'm building up and managing my parents' stuff and getting them more clients because I'm not a big fan of the operational side. I'm more of a sales guy. So that's what I like to do. So that's what I want to really focus and hammer down on for them because they're the opposite. My
Mhm.
dad, he likes to do more of the operational stuff. My mom's more accounting, finance based. So it's really great for me to fit in there nicely. So that's the short term goal. And then medium goal would be, be able to work online, which I already do, and go move to maybe Europe, travel around, go test and see what I like. A few different places. I saw Bulgaria is very pretty. Hungary,
Hungry, hungry.
Hungary. Sorry, Hungary is very pretty. And those are the two places I was looking at. I talked to a few people in Europe. I don't know if you can comment on it, but people
Yeah,
I've talked to said
very
very
good
pretty
place.
places.
Yeah.
And so that's a medium term goal. So in like 3 to 5 years, be living in one of those places, or even shorter than that, shorter than 3 to 5 years. That's probably a long term goal. So long term would be only working with my parents and making commission from the sales that I make for them, and just doing it from wherever in the world that I'm living.
Very cool. And I guess we can wrap up with a final question then. So, for people who are unsure about the real world, since you recommended it to your friend and then he ended up leaving, but then you actually ended up persevering and here you are now, what advice would you have to people who, again, are thinking for $50 they might get scammed?
So for $50, it's the best investment you're ever going to make. You might not make money your first month because a lot of people don't try the first month. You're just in there because you thought $50 would equate to getting rich. And it doesn't work like that. You have to put in a lot more work than just your $50 that you have sitting there in the bank account doing nothing. the information in there, it's truly incredible. Just the platform by itself that they've built, and you pay for just $50. All the information in there is worth way more than $50, just the information alone. And when you couple that with the people that you're surrounded with and get to talk to every day, the professors that help you out and guide you to where you need to go, and just on a base level, all the sales lessons, those are incredible. You're not going to find a lot of that information anywhere else in one spot. You might be able to formulate it from like 30 different YouTube videos, but you won't be able to talk to the person that did the YouTube videos. So for $50, it'll be the best investment you ever make,
Yep.
without a doubt.
Well said. Well said. And did I have something to add there? Pretty much. Like you can maybe find some of the stuff online, but it takes way longer. Whereas here everything's curated into a single thing, and there are things which you won't find online as well. So anyway,
Right.
that's just a small thing to add. And now, for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where could they do so?
So if you're an IT and cybersecurity company and you want more leads, go to themillerman.net, which is my website. And a cool thing about the website, if you like the design, that was taught in the real world and it was made in under 30 minutes. So it's great social proof for you.
Cool. So we'll add to description of video. So if interested, check in description. And yeah, Philip, good speaking to you. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Doing very well for 20 years old, already at 6K within 1 month earned, and this is something that scales way further. So you already passed the hardest part of the starting point, and now things probably going to start going exponential. So will be cool to potentially do a follow up in future to get an update on that. And yeah, until then, wish you all the best.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for your time.